the National Security Advisor, Director General of the National Security Council, and Chairperson of the National Task Force West Philippine Sea, Secretary Eduardo M. Año, I sincerely thank and commend Protect 2024 for gathering us in this insightful and friendly platform of dialogue and cooperation as we face head-on the developments shaping global security. I am equally grateful to the partners and participants whose presence cements their commitment and support to Protect 2024's objective of rethinking global security amidst geopolitical, operational, and digital challenges. Indeed, the importance of this conference, where public and private institutions meet on a common ground to address security challenges, cannot be overstated, especially at these extra challenging and uncertain times. Global geopolitical situations has grown more complex, unpredictable, and volatile as ever. It has become a concern for the Philippines as China's continuing illegal, coercive, and aggressive, and recently barbaric actions in the South China Sea and in the West Philippine Sea prevent rightful access to our maritime wealth, threaten our sovereignty and territorial integrity, undermine international law and international and rules-based orders, and adding heat to the already brewing tensions in the region. Despite all these provocative, unilateral, and illegal actions that continue to violate our sovereignty, sovereign rights, and jurisdiction, we are committed to promoting peace and resolving issues through dialogue and diplomacy. As President Ferdinand R. Marcos has emphasized during the 21st International Studies Shangri-La Dialogue, the region and the world cannot afford any future for the South China Sea and other than the one envisioned by ASEAN, which is a sea of peace, stability, and prosperity. Alam niyo po, noong mga nakarang araw, parang tumaas yung tensyon sa ating bansa. Many of our countrymen are fearful of an impending war in these waters. Amidst the talk of an impending war and the disinformation and misinformation in the media, like noong isang araw, kesyo nagmomobilize daw ang ating sandatahan and there are deployment of American troops in many parts of the country. We wish to categorically state that the Philippines intends to resolve our differences with China in a peaceful and diplomatic manner. But in doing so, we will not be cowed or intimidated into submission. Huwag pong mag-alala ang ating mga kababayan, wala pong intensyon ng ating pamahalaan na makipaggera sa panahon ngayon. Meron po ako mga kakilala na kesyo naghahanda na sila at dilipat na daw sila sa probinsya. Doon na daw sila maninirahan kasi nga daw nagkakagulo na. At meron pa mga iba nagpapagawa ng mga bahay at nagpapagawa ng mga underground. No? Kasi nga daw kung magkakaroon ng gera, doon daw sila magtatago. Ito pong mga ganitong mga hinaing na narinig natin sa ating mga kababayan. Dala po yan ng mga warmongers, no? Sa social media na nagpapataas ng tensyon sa mga nangyayari sa ngayon. At gusto ko pong linawin sa inyo, since kayo po karamihan sa inyo ay mga security experts, alam naman po natin that war is not in the interest of the Philippines. It is not in the interest of the United States, and it is also not in the interest of China. So it is our commitment to find common ground with the PRC, and there are now ongoing discussions, diplomatic and otherwise, with the People's Republic of China for us to be able to de-escalate and reduce the tensions that is happening in our part of the world. Moving forward, China's looming threat to Taiwan likewise remains a big concern, not only because of the presence of hundreds of thousands of citizens, Filipino citizens, and their families on the island, and its strategic proximity to our northern seaboard, but also due to the critical impact this threat poses to the global trade and economics in the electronics and semiconductor supply chain. The threat from China in our maritime domain also spills over to our domestic front. There is a monitored drastic increase in the volume and severity of foreign interference, foreign malign influence, ranging from disinformation, cyber attacks, targeting our nation's institutions, sending our government, the business community, and the academe, and our people as well. Napabalita po nung isang araw na di umano, mismo daw ang National Security Council ay nahack ng mga hackers. Ito po ay nangyari noong 2019. Wala pa po kami sa NSC. Sa ngayon po, matatag na ang cybersecurity ng National Security Council. Such concerns will not likely decrease in the future, it will rather apparently intensify. It is to this national situation that our partners in the private sector must remain vigilant and help further strengthen public-private partnerships in the sector and find means to collaborate effectively in mitigating and countering these threats. We will need not only sound policies and decision-making, but robust partnerships to resolve these disputes, preventing them from worsening or arising in the first place. Over the past few years, the Philippines has embarked on an exciting journey towards addressing digitalization, using it as a catalyst for economic advancement, social progress, and innovation, seeing the need to satisfy the growing demand for connectivity and competitive digital services. The government places focus on filling the gap in connectedness across the country, specifically in remote and rural areas. This is being addressed through investments in broadband networks, mobile connectivity, and ICT infrastructure that will significantly expand access to the internet. The National Broadband Plan, a project of the DICT, aims to overcome the digital divide and enhance digital inclusion in the country. The project aims to create an interconnected web of infra across the 3 major islands of the country, particularly fiber optic cables and wireless technologies to boost internet access and affordability. Another program under the banner of the NDP is the Broadband ng Masa Project. It endeavors to connect GIDA areas, yung tinatawag po natin geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas, to the internet by putting up free Wi-Fi infrastructure in key areas such as schools. At ito pong ating programa sa GIDA areas, kasama po dito yung mga lugar kung saan natanggal na natin ang influensya ng New People's Army. Ang magandang balita po ngayon sa ating internal security operations ay yung mga lugar na dati na hawak ng NPA, sa ngayon po ay nasa siyam na lamang na weekend guerrilla fronts. And it is our goal that before the end of this year, lahat ng weekend guerrilla fronts ng New People's Army ay masasawatan na natin, and before the end of the Marcos administration, matatapos na natin ang banta ng CPP, NPA, NDF sa bansa. At napakalaking bagay po nito kasi kung matatapos na po ang ating mga internal security challenges sa ating bansa, we can now fully shift to territorial defense and ensuring the territorial integrity of the Philippines. For the past 52 years, the CPP, NPA has been the scourge of the armed forces of the Philippines. Wala po tayong ginawa nung nakaraang 5 dekada kundi labanan ng NPA. At ang NPA ay napakalaking dagok sa paglaki at pag-unlad ng ating bansa. Ngayong matatapos na ang New People's Army, pwede na po tayong mag-focus sa territorial defense and integrity. And we can now do a re-horizon of the Horizon 3 program of the Armed Forces of the Philippines that is focused more on ensuring the territorial integrity of the Philippines. Isipin niyo po kung Meron na nga tayong internal security problem, meron pa tayong external security problem, paano natin haharapin yan? So kailangan tapusin na natin ang banta ng NPA para makafocus na po tayo sa foreign interference and foreign malign influence. For e-government services, the government has been proactive in digitizing to improve its efficiency, transparency, and accessibility, specifically when it comes to public services. The PhilSys National ID System, the Philippine Business Data Bank are examples of digital initiatives aimed at enhancing service delivery and reducing bureaucratic red tape. For digital payments and financial inclusions, mobile banking, e-wallets, and digital payment platforms are expanding access for financial services for millions of Filipinos, particularly in underserved communities. Kung meron pong magandang naidulot yung COVID-19 pandemic, kung meron man, ay yung paglakas ng ating digital inclusivity. Dahil sa COVID-19, napilitan akong mag-GCash. Dati hindi ko naman pinapansin ang GCash. Dahil hindi na tayo makalabas at kailangan nating magbayad ng kung ano-ano. Lahat tayo ngayon nasa GCash, nasa Paymaya, kung saan-saan. And this has allowed government to expand digital inclusivity at napilitan ang mga global, ang mga telco companies to improve their services. The government, through the National Retail Payment System, a flagship program of the Bangko Sentral, plays its role since it is designed to create a more secure, efficient, and dependable retail payment system that seamlessly works across various platforms, paving the way for greater financial inclusion and economic empowerment. Also important is that we recognize not only the potentials, but also the serious threat of emerging technologies. Artificial intelligence, or AI, has the potential to revolutionize both our industries, improves our human lives, and enhance our security. But while we need them, such technologies must be fully understood, guided, and effectively regulated before they fall into the wrong people that do not share our shared values as one people. As for the private sector, pursuing emerging technologies must come with the crucial responsibility and value to champion and support the safe and responsible research, development, and use of these new technologies. Ladies and gentlemen, amidst constantly shifting global tides of sharpening polarities among regional powers, the rise of new security arrangements, the evolving complexions of geopolitical space, and the broadening opportunities that may come upon us, it is important for us to work hand in hand to pursue and work on a higher level of discourse, better understanding, and greater cooperation through conferences such as this. It is from boosting grounds of collaboration, whichever sector we come from and work for, that we can ensure the welfare, well-being, and future of our citizens, which in turn will contribute to maintaining, protecting, achieving our country's national interests and objectives. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. May we maintain an open and frank discussion for the rest of the conference. Mabuhay at mabuhay po ang Republika ng Pilipinas.